Okay. All right. Good afternoon. We just got a change in the presiding of the thing about 3 minutes ago. However, we're so glad to have all of you here. And since I need to pray, I'm going to pray. Could you please rise? Dear kind and gracious God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the servants that you have here. We ask that you be with us and stand by us. We ask, Lord, that you will please be with those who are overseas in harm's way. We pray a special blessing upon the climate and environment. Please help us to be safe and secure from all of the hurt, harm, and danger. We ask that you be with each of us as we travel home to our families and those who are ill and those who are recovering and those who have lost the loved ones this time of year. We ask you to be with us and stand by us. Please keep our police officers and our firemen safe this time of year as well. For all of the dangers that are coming upon them, please guide and protect them. We ask these blessings in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. So good to see some of y'all surviving so well in this heat. All right. First of all, we will have our roll call.
Councilmember John DeWitt.
Here.
Councilmember Lillian Fleming.
Here.
Councilmember Ken Gibson.
Here.
Councilmember Will Brasington. Councilmember Russell Stahl.
Here.
Councilmember Dorothy Dow. Here. Mayor Knox White. Mayor Pro Tem Fleming.
Here. All right. Then look at the minutes of June 24th. Are there any corrections or changes for the minutes? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, anyone against? Great, approval of the minutes. Now, let's look, we have some citizens wishing to address council. And before we do that, it says, we have an announcements from the mayor and council. Is there any particular announcement that we need to make at this time? Okay, good. Let's move on to citizens wishing to address our council. First, we have Mr. Joe Farmer.
Thank you. Joe Farmer, 207 Alpine Way. Tonight you have on the agenda 15B, which is an abandonment of a small piece of property. It's a unique piece of property, and I don't think the city really has a use for it. I think the homeowner does have a use for it, and I don't think there's anybody else in the city that has a use for it. But I would like you, rather than giving this, to have a nominal fee, maybe $10 transfer with. The reason for that is precedent. All right, we really shouldn't be giving away city assets to residents. And I know what's coming. There is a developer that is going to ask you to abandon a piece of property that the city currently uses that has significant value and is vital to his project. This piece of property is worth a lot of money, and more than one person would like to have this piece of property. So as we enter into a negotiation phase during this, we need to have a precedent that says we just don't give property away. It will give our negotiator a better leverage going into that meeting. You know, I'm deeply concerned with what's coming up. We might not can stop some of this, but I don't think we ought to be giving away city assets for free. Thank you.
Thank you. Our second person is Mr. Clarence Thornton.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Clarence Thornton. We'll be talking about affordable housing here in Greenville, South Carolina, and the racial displacement of affordable housing. And they said even if the city of Greenville were able to triple, quadruple the number of available units to 30% or 50% AMI, there just aren't that many Black households in the city to take advantage of them. Racial displacement will not be solved just by affordable housing. It also goes on and says that generally considered families make 30% of the area median income or less, currently about 27,000 annually. A housing fund representative told City Council that the financial contribution has helped the fund create more than 1,558 new homes. A faith group asked that you do more for affordable housing. I spoke with Ms. Fleming last time I was at City Council, how a lady was suffering in her home because the owner of the home now has changed her contract from annually, yearly to monthly. So she don't know next month will she be able to stay in her home or not because of gentrification and this what's going on in our neighborhood. So now she's saying, well, what do I do? I said, I can talk to City Council about it, but I'm not sure anything's going to be done because somehow or another we don't see affordable housing as a problem. We talk about it, but let's talk about the real problem is low income. It shows that blacks make maybe about 27,000, 29,000. If you keep raising the AMI, how are you going to ever have affordable housing? Because it changes every time you put new homes in the neighborhood. So it's never ever going to be affordable to low income people. And some of you that come from low income. When you think about some of the people that made great strides in this city, they wasn't rich or wealthy. They wasn't that rich or wealthy from their pocketbook. It was their rich and their wealth of their hearts that made Greenville what it is. Like I say, we have a lot of racial displacement right here in Greenville. Talk about it, but we don't never do anything about it. We're always talking about what we fit into. We fit into. We fit into. Well, that's easy to say, but not. It's easy to say, but people want action. When you hear people talk about my stomach is touching my spine because now they have to make a decision between affordable housing, paying their rent, and their food. To me, those are real crises. Like I said, we please to do something. Let's do something more about it. And like I say, time is a restraint, but there'll be other days. But my Bible tells me this. The poor, when they cry upon God, he's going to hear their cry. When you have a good leader, they rejoice. And when you have bad leaders, the poor cry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We now move to our consent agenda.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Somebody will second it?
Motion and second, yes, ma'am.
What? Yeah, I'm sorry. It was a low. Get on my car.
Get me chill.
I don't know, Patricia didn't move. Okay, all right. So, all right, clerk will call the roll.
Councilmember DeWorke,
Aye.
Councilmember Gibson,
Aye.
Councilmember Stahl,
Aye.
Councilmember Dow,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fleming.
Aye. Item in the past, we now move to our regular business session, new business, first reading.
Item 15A, an ordinance to rezone approximately 0.58 acre of real property located at 108 Orange Street from RHC House C District to RNA Neighborhood District.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, do you like some discussion on that? Information?
No, this is what we talk about in work sessions,
I do
right?
have
Okay.
a few comments.
Yeah,
unless
go ahead.
You want to go first? Okay. Just a few comments. We did there were some concerns about traffic. There were some concerns about infrastructure. And to me, traffic and infrastructure, particularly infrastructure, are easy solutions. Now, sorry, Clint, wherever you are, but you know, if you've got money and you've got able people, you can solve it. Law enforcement, where's Chief back there? Law enforcement is a tougher nut. Law enforcement to me is a complex issue. Safety is a complex issue. Infrastructure, you just build and you can do it. And so there were concerns about traffic. And first of all, I just want to mention that the traffic counts were very, very low back there. I think there's a car for every 15 minutes. A car goes by every 12 minutes. I mean, that's really what we're looking at. But there's some concerns if houses pop up, what do you do? And so the easy solution is, you know, our LMO calls for it and we call for it. And that is if the street is not suitable to who lives on there and houses that are on there, then we address that. You address that. That takes money, takes people. We got the people, we can get the money. And so you can address it. But law enforcement and crime and safety is a really tough nut, as everybody knows. And so there's Shannon, you're going to be very impressed with this. But The Death and Life of Great American Cities by Jane Jacobs, which I'm reading right now, really talks about the importance of, if you're in a downtown area, the importance of having retailers, or if you're in a neighborhood, the importance of having homes. What Jane Jacobs is really saying is when you have eyes on a street, people living there, people working there, it makes the street safer. It makes the area safer. For close to 12 years now, either as North Main Community Association president or now with this honor of representing the North Main community, I've heard from constituents over and over again saying, I feel like we really need to make Orange Street safer. We need to provide for a safer road. And the best way to do that, according to Jane Jacobs, and I agree with this, is putting eyes on the street. What does that mean? That means building homes, building units, having people live there, neighbors looking out for neighbors. And so this rezone, I think, is a real microcosm, has spurred a lot of conversation of what can we do to make Orange Street a safer road, and that is to be able to put more homes on that street. So I think we can accomplish that. I think that this rezone is a good microcosm of that, and I support it wholeheartedly. But I'd also contend that that we can address the safety, we can address Orange Street, we can make it safer for the people living on Orange Street and those around Orange Street, and then also we can, if we have to address infrastructure, we certainly can do that. So I'm in full support of this.
Okay.
I had a thought since work session, just one, that we didn't talk about in work session, and I'm curious if law enforcement and is Public Works here? I'm scanning, I'm looking. Oh, Dave, good to see you. That road is two-way.
It is.
And it is a very interesting road to drive.
It's small.
We also have, one of the tools in our toolkit is to make it one way. Should the need be present if development occurs on that road and our first responders in Public Works prefer that or feel like that's a necessity. To me, I'm amazed it's two-way now, but one way, if the community around it would accept it, to me might help in terms of concerns that you had brought up there, John, to be considered down the road.
Yeah.
But I think the rezone is a fine step towards getting eyes on it.
Great neighborhood. I'm back there often. Awesome people living back there. And it's just one little, I think, it's the old saying, a small decision, lots of little small decisions can have a great impact. And I think tonight we have that in front of us. With that, Madam Mayor.
Anything else?
We have a motion and a second.
Okay. All right, I just want to be sure. You finished?
Sorry, yeah.
All right. I don't want come with another.
How long is that book?
We'll finish with this.
Love it, Jane Jacobs.
All right. Okay, clerk will call a roll and vote, and let's be through.
Councilmember DeWorke.
Aye.
Councilmember Gibson.
Aye.
Councilmember Stahl.
Aye.
Councilmember Dow.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fleming.
Aye, et cetera. This should be great for the neighborhood because nothing really great.
That was your
happened down
district,
there.
right?
Long time. Nothing really happened there for a long time.
Yeah.
So that's great. And now we'll go to our city manager.
No, ma'am, we have an item
We
15B.
got 15B.
This is new business.
Abandoned unnamed alley.
It's an ordinance to abandon an unnamed alley off Hillside Circle and Briarcliff Drive.
So moved.
Second.
You have any comments, Clint?
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, I'm just here to answer any questions. We did have a public hearing for this, I think June 10th.
Right.
And I know there was some discussion about the city's ownership of this alley and the future plans by the property owners, the petitioners, and there was discussion about should we get this appraised and assign a value to it. We're, from an internal reviewing from the city agencies, we're very supportive of the abandonment. Really didn't receive any objection from the public hearing and comment period to it. We do have an existing sewer line on the two properties affected by this abandonment that the property owners are working with us on a sewer easement. So we just feel like this is a good kind of arrangement for us and for the homeowners as well, the property owners. So
Okay.
happy to answer any other questions.
I do just want to give a reminder, when this was at the public hearing, we did have some discussion on development of a policy for abandonments that I know staff is working on. That was only a few, 4 weeks ago, whatever it was. But I do think that is something that's needed, a policy and a protocol we follow for every abandonment, regardless of size of it. So
Right.
they're working on it.
Yep, we're working. We've had one internal meeting with our city legal and planning and engineering. And we're discussing, that framework, what that would look like. Probably be coming to you, council here in the next few weeks at a work session, for an update on that.
Like, can you talk about the different, were you done? So,
Mhm.
can you talk about the differences in aged, what are these, plats? The plats, where you have these aged plats, and there's not a real determination of ownership.
Yep.
But yet the city is, what is it, quick
Claim. Yep.
But the city has authority over quick claim, even though they can't maybe prove that they own or don't own it. How does that, I learned that as a new council member, is a new thing for me. How does that all work?
I feel like I'm still learning it every time we get one of these type of petitions, because they're very unique, every petition we get. But yes, a lot of our roads and our right-of-ways throughout the city were established through developers developing subdivisions throughout the city. And this one's no different. Through our research, we determined this right-of-way was established somewhere between 1927 and 1930. There was two different subdivisions that occurred that established this right-of-way that we're talking about in this case. And we've researched that. We haven't seen in a lot of subdivisions where they're building new roads and dedicating right-of-way, there's a process where the roads are dedicated to the city and the right-of-way is dedicated. In our research on this one, we haven't found where that dedication really ever happened. So we can't really say at this point that we've got clear title or ownership of this.
So that then makes it difficult to sell it.
Yeah, so when we start talking about assigning values and appraising property and assigning values, unless we have clear fee simple title to the land, I don't know that we would want to explore that.
Because we ran into that on Westview as well.
But what we can do is release any claim or title or right that we feel like we may have in this area. And we do that through a quick claim deed.
Okay.
So by recording that, we're basically releasing any right or title interest that we may have in it and are clearing that.
So, I mean, I agree. If you own land, you don't want to, because we talk about that workshop, we talk about that executive. If you own land, you certainly are not going to not sell it, right?
Yep.
So what we're running into with this is just no clear records. But as the authorized governmental body, we do have the authority to do a quick claim deal that is basically saying, we're not sure if we own it or not, but because we're the authority, we're going to go ahead and do an official, the official quick claim.
Yeah, abandonment.
Abandonment.
Exactly.
And that's where we are on that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Our city attorney looks like, what are y'all talking about?
Keep reading.
Oh,
He is like,
And
No,
I haven't talked much in 2 weeks and I get here, so I'm sorry.
okay.
You're
a new
health
group
member
that
for-
helps elected officials, and he's trying to help make us understand that he knows what he's reading. But we don't understand it when he comes out, but that's okay.
I'm usually considering some.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to be
Good.
sure.
I thought they were very good questions.
Yeah, clerk will call the roll.
Do have the motion in a second. So Councilmember DeWorke,
Aye.
Councilmember Gibson,
aye.
Councilmember Saul,
Aye.
Councilmember Dow.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fleming.
Aye, et cetera. Thank you so very much. Now, let's see, that's the end of that, so we're gonna see if.
I'm not gonna say anything else.
By the staff report, okay.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Just a couple things this evening. First, just want to, again, in public meeting, recognize the strides that our zoo has made with our great preliminary accreditation report. Of course, that's not official and formal until September, but really excited about just the transformation that's happened at the zoo. And that's been such a team effort of multiple departments in the city to be able to accomplish that. But also want to thank and recognize our friends with the Zoo Foundation for all of their support with everything that's been done at the zoo. But just know that we've made a lot of progress over the last few years, and I think that's something that we and our entire community should be proud of because it's such an asset to our city. So that was the first item. The second item this evening is I would like to thank and commend all of the wonderful City of Greenville staff that made the 4th of July celebration such a wonderful event.
Okay.
I felt like I was just so proud to see our staff and how they handled the public, how they handled any incidents that were thrown at them, how they handled the entire night. I was just so proud that I get to work alongside them every day. And it's just, it really showed me the value that we know what great team we have here at the city, but it was a lot of teamwork that night. And of course, we know it was, led by our PRT team but there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just our PRT team. I mean, of course, our tourism and Parks and Grounds crew do a lot, but also our police. I mean, even our own police chief was out there directing traffic and moving a broken down car out of an intersection so we could get people home. Obviously, our fire department and running our EOC, they had our fire marshal's office, they were on site as well as they were running our EOC that evening. Our public works crews that were out there all day getting ready for the event, got there at 9:30 on Thursday morning and didn't leave until late into the evening, and then back the next morning. And they did a lot of work throughout the entire event. And then also our GTA staff and our trolley drivers that got people back and forth through, to and from the event. And, those are just some of the many incredible staff members that made that night such a great and important event for us. I saw a lot of positive about it on social media. We estimate 20,000, might have been a
It
little
was a
more.
little bit more
was
than that,
crazy.
'cause I couldn't get out of my house. And the chief, thank you so much, because my son was coming to visit us from Charleston, and he couldn't get to the house, and he says, I can't get to the street. He asked the officer, he said, no problem. He opened it up so he can get through there. He said, oh, Mom, I've never had to be escorted by the police to get to your house, et cetera. They were wonderful. My grandchildren loved it. And I found a new way to get from the park to my house without having to go through so much traffic. Oh, it was exciting. And my children, I saw them, said, no, turn left right here. Turn your lights on. And we went up there. When we know anything, we were right at the house. It was exciting. It was more than 20,000 people. I'm serious. Because I couldn't even move past, I don't know. It was 11 o'clock before they finished. And we was
a great
finished
event.
before there. There were cars still parked in the driveway. We couldn't move anything. It was about 11 o'clock, et
Well,
cetera.
I
But they were
appreciate
nice.
that.
They didn't make any noise. They didn't blow any horns. They didn't say anything ugly to anybody. I saw people getting out of the car, but they were not nasty. They just knew where they were. You down here in this little hole with 42,000 cars in front of you, you better be quiet. So you can get out. So it worked. It really worked well, because it seemed like the people knew they were parked in a tight thing, and they acted very, very nice. I was very happy. Now, after they left my street, don't know what happened. But all I know right there, they did nothing at that particular point. And I appreciate that, because they were packed in there like sardines. So I don't know who is the official counter, but I don't know if they counted that little section over there, but honey, it was a lot of people over there.
We will try to get an official count for certain, and we're already talking about next year's event, and But I just really want to thank our staff, on a holiday where most people, get to do something else other than go to work. Our staff comes to work to make sure that that event happens for the community. And they did it flawlessly and seamlessly. And I just want to make sure that we are showing our appreciation for the things that they do for us, for the city.
They were wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you.
I had one grandchild said, "Oh, Albert, let's go." I know you're gonna walk home. You're not gonna ride home. Excited. So we thank all of you. We thank the staff and all of for what they do, et cetera. Because I'm trying to tell you, I'm right at the core. When it's Unity Park, it's me and the group trying to get out of my house to Unity Park so we can participate. Well, it was exciting. We could not get out of our house. We could get to the street, but that was it. No cars moved in my house for 12 hours, I think, because we couldn't move at all, et cetera. So we thank y'all, and we know the people had a great time. It was exciting. My grandson from California, I don't think he'd ever seen fireworks before.
Oh, cool.
He never took his eye, a 15-year, never stopped watching them. I said, oh my God, 6'3", 15, and he wasn't looking at the chicks, he was looking at the fireworks. I said, thank y'all so much, and y'all have a wonderful July. Try not to call us if you can. Everybody else leaving town. Try not to call us if you can, but if you have to, go ahead and dial us. We'll send you a message back, et cetera. Thank you so much. Have a good afternoon.
6:02 PM.